What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Punisher Garage. Well, working on these back brakes on the Lemans. What we got here is a 9-inch from Ashley Fab out of Nevada, Missouri. It's a housing anyway. He builds dirt track stuff. And the brake setup is actually off of a 06 Grand Marquis. I took it to work and milled out this what I needed to mill out on our old mill. It's an old manual mill, and it works good. I just need to shim it out some, so we'll get started on that. I've had this thing apart so many times I can do it in my sleep. Getting the right axle was actually a nightmare. I ended up getting cut to fit axles, and then Summit Racing sent me the axles, and I had 2 different styles. So yeah. So here's what I did. I don't know if you can see it. I just elongated the holes on the mill. This bearing spacer, I actually made it, programmed it on the plasma table, cut it out, put it in there. That'll get rid of the washers. Just so everybody knows, I did not drive it. I repeat, I did not drive it with the washers in it. Those is for fit up purpose only. I know how all of us YouTube mechanics think we're smarter than the other guys, so we have to call them out on their BS, but it's not BS. But this was a pretty cheap disc brake swap. A buddy of mine gave me the 8.8 out of the Grand Marquis, so that was nice. And they're big brakes, big rotors. I think they're like 14-inch rotors. And since I'm running 18-inch wheels, I don't think they would fit if you tried to run like 15-inch wheels or anything, but they work fine with the 18-inch wheels that I have. Now, I might be in trouble when I try to throw a drag pack on it, so we'll see about that, but till then, it should be alright. What we're going to do is tighten it up and make sure that that axle still has a little bit of play in it. If it doesn't, then that bearing will get it too tight. That bearing will seize up in there. And this one appears to be about perfect, so we're going to roll with it. Even if it wasn't, we'd probably roll with it anyway. Perfect. After I said that, I was curious, so I went ahead and measured the rotors, and they are 11 3/4-inch rotors. Now, it does stop a lot better than the old drum brakes. Of course, when I had a 10-bolt in it, I did the F-body, the 98 to 02F body disc brake setup. Pretty much a bolt-on deal. Pretty cheap disc brakes for somebody. If you have a 10 bolt and you're wanting disc brakes on it, and you don't want to spend like Willwood kind of money or something, it's a real good upgrade. So, but these work good. I'll probably eventually put slotted cross-drilled rotors on it. You can buy all that stuff for them. That's the good thing about old Cletus McFarland using the Ground Dicks and the Grand Marquis and stuff on his show. They started making a whole crap ton of aftermarket parts for them. So these 8.8s have a bunch of stuff, and I imagine that Mustang stuff is the same. I don't know. One of you Ford guys could probably tell me more. I don't know, but like I said, it stops really, really well. And I lost one of the factory bolts, so I now have an Allen head on one and a 10mm head on the other one. Don't judge me. That's what poor guys do. This car is like the epitome of old hot rodding. Back in the day, they would take parts from a whole bunch of different cars. That's kind of how the old Lemans is. It's got a 5.3 out of a 01 Tahoe. It has a AR 5-speed transmission out of a Chevy Colorado. It has Ford 9-inch. Drive shafts out of a Nova. I'm putting newer Monte Carlo back seat in it. So I actually went in AutoZone earlier and I got a belt for it. The girl behind the counter kind of looked at me funny because she asked what year the car was, and I told her it was a 71, but that's not what the motor's out of. So, you know, typical, you know, parts store employee. And I worked at O'Reilly, so I understand. But it blows their mind sometimes when you tell them, well, the transmission's out of a 05 Colorado, the rear end's out of a Ford, motor's out of a Yukon or a Tahoe. So we're gonna leave the wheels off of it. Right now it has 295 35 18s on it, and these are the wheels on tires that's on it now. I got these 305 35 Nidos. So that should be fun. Hopefully help it in the traction area a little bit. When you're putting around 700-ish to the ground, it takes a little bit of tire to hold it down. I mean, it works good with slicks on it, but I don't really want to destroy this AR 5-speed transmission just yet, so we're going to shy away from slicks for now. Go ahead and put some gear oil in it. It does have a factory posi in it, so I picked up this Valvoline 7590. It says it contains limited slip additive, so we'll see. But they came in these nifty bags. I'm trying to break my light here. They came in these nifty bags, so we'll see how well they work. I ain't gonna bother with that little nozzle there. Let's see that seemed to have worked just fine. I will tell you that this gear oil is rather expensive. $14 for this synthetic gear oil. Car stuff is not cheap. I guess if it was cheap and easy, everybody would do it. But it's not, so that's why us guys in this No Name Nationals thing are kind of a rare breed, I'd say. Perfect. Well, that's one more project off the list. We're going to put the drive shaft in it. So, as you can see, the underside of this car, it's all factory, all original. Very, very little rust. Well, I just gotta find the nuts and bolts for those. And then that's one more thing off the list. Here's how that log manifold turned out. Got the belt on it. You can see the wastegate is far enough away from the pulley. It's fine. Got the cold side on that side. Still have to make that work. Good thing I'm a welder and I know how to TIG weld. So, and I still have to build the crossover for it. Picked up a couple 90s and a flex joint. That's going to be my crossover pipe. So that's where we're at right now. I got the air on in here and it's still freaking hot. I'm sweating. Fat guy problem. So somebody was nice enough to say that we only have like so many Saturdays left to build a car, which is really depressing actually. Thank you for whoever did that last night on, I think it was on Mike's Hoopty Barn thing. It was really depressing. Thanks very much. Anyway, I figured I better get out, work on this car. I don't have a lot to do. It's just a bunch of little stuff that I don't want to do. I got all the big stuff knocked out of the way right off the bat, and then just don't want to do the little thing. Anyway, that's just some of what I'm doing. So I'm gonna go in, take a shower, and call it a day.